Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is rejecting conditions from Hamas for a reported new hostage deal. Netanyahu saying Hamas wants the end to the war for the release of those still being held, something Israel's Prime Minister is labeling surrender. CTV's Tony Grace is standing by with the latest. So, Tony, let's begin with this new development this morning. Israel's Prime Minister pushing back on the idea of a hostage release deal. What's the latest you can tell us?
Right, Marcia. Benjamin Netanyahu saying today that there actually is no deal in the works with Hamas, flat out rejecting the idea that there was what he called any sort of real proposal by Hamas. Now, Netanyahu did say that there is an initiative underway on Israel's part, but he said he cannot speculate. So the fate of those more than 100 hostages still being held in Gaza remaining in the balance this morning. Of course, Benjamin Netanyahu doubled down on his position over the weekend that the war must continue on what he called all fronts. Analysts saying that what he's meaning there is not only in Gaza, but in the surrounding areas as well. Hezbollah, of course, there's been a lot of activity on the northern border of Israel with Hezbollah, with more Israeli strikes on Hezbollah targets over the weekend. We also saw a reported Israeli strike in Syria over the weekend, targeting another Iranian target. So a lot going on here, not only in Gaza, Marcia, but regionally as well, as Netanyahu doubles down on his insistence that the war continue. And as Palestinian officials report just this morning that Israeli forces have reportedly moved in on a hospital in the Khan Yunis area. Those reports, Marcia, couldn't be independently verified, but another signal that the fighting continues.
Meantime, there is growing concern from world leaders and some Israelis about the path the war is taking. What's new on that front today?
Well, we had some Israelis protesting over the weekend outside Benjamin Netanyahu's home, setting up camp outside his home, insisting that the government take a new direction in the war. We also saw Israelis protesting in Tel Aviv, some of them even demanding new elections. Now, that's within Israel, but outside of Israel, of course, this war is continuing to move toward pitting Israel against some of its top allies, like the U.S. Here's what we're looking at right now. This is actually some visuals this morning from inside the Israeli parliament, inside a parliamentary committee, where some relatives of hostages stormed a meeting this morning, demanding a release deal for hostages. Some of them had to be physically restrained. And now what we're looking at is European Union leaders who just today said that a Palestinian state is the only way to achieve peace. So we're seeing more of these allies and more world leaders stepping up their language about the insistence that a path to Palestinian statehood be part of the next step following this war or coming out of this chapter of heavy fighting, Marcia. Although we did hear Benjamin Netanyahu double down on his insistence that Israel remain in control of Gaza in a post-war Gaza. So two very conflicting viewpoints here, Marcia, that are on the agenda, of course, at the United Nations, the European Union, and many other world leaders today.
Tony, thanks so much for that. Please keep us posted on any new developments.